Hello friends, so welcome back to Think OCI channel. So in this channel we mainly focusing on Oracle Cloud. So today the topic is how you can host a static website using object storage bucket and API gateway. So when I say static website, it consists of React, HTML, CSS, etc. So let's first see the architectural diagram. So here we have OCI region. Inside this we have created VCN. So inside VCN we will create one public subnet, okay, and there is an internet gateway attached to the VCN. So end user like you will access the website, static website, using through internet gateway, and it reaches to the API gateway, and from API gateway it reaches to OCI object storage bucket. So here, as you can see, API gateway is in public subnet and your OCI object storage is a private bucket. So what happens is when a user requests for your domain or your website, it will reach to the API gateway which is deployed on a public subnet. This API gateway have backend that is pointing to object storage bucket. So this is a high level architectural diagram of how you can host your static website in OCI using object storage bucket and API gateway. So now let's move on to the deployment. So this is the folder called static website. So inside this I have two files, index.html and one PNG, right? So let me bring my VS Code here. So this is the index file, right? Index.html file. Just a very basic file you can see here, right? So when I access this in locally, this is the static file which I created for this demo. It will show the logo as well as one heading like Think OCI. So today we are planning to host, or we are looking how we can host the static file into OCI object storage bucket. So in front of that we have API gateway also. Okay, so that is the today's task. So I have logged into my OCI console, and first I will need to create VCN. So I will go to network and VCN. Here I have already created a VCN called demo VCN. So I will quickly show how to create a VCN. These are two options. One is create VCN button, or an easy option is like actions, like a VCN wizard. So when you click on the VCN wizard, you will get two options. So this option is what I choose right now. It's very simple, like VCN will be created. Inside this VCN we have one public subnet, one private subnet. You can see internet gateway is also created. There is NAT gateway for getting the internet access to your private subnet. There is service gateway, basically for Oracle service network, like object storage buckets and everything. The communication no need to go for public. And the second option is like site-to-site VPN. So in this case we will choose this and start VCN wizard. It will ask you few details like what should be your VCN name, what should be the CIDR block, etc. So I have created this demo VCN, and for this purpose we need only one subnet, public, but for me I just created private subnet also. So here what we need to do additional rather than creating the subnet is we have to create a security list. Okay, so this rule should be able to allow 443. Okay, in your ingress rule you need to add source like 0.0.0/0, and you need to allow TCP, IP should be TCP, and destination is 443. So why? Basically if you not open this port, you will not able to access your website from outside, right? This is the configuration, like adding ingress rule, security list. Okay, so VCN is done. So next we can go to storage. So I go to bucket. Okay, so let me create a bucket here, website files. Okay, and everything remains same. So create bucket. So here you can see the bucket visibility is private, right? So earlier I have shown you the files, right? There are two files for this project. So there are two files for this project. So let me copy, or let me upload the files over here. Like there will be one index file and one PNG file. Okay, let me upload that. Okay, you can see the files or the objects get uploaded complete. So here I need to create a par. Par is nothing other than pre-authenticated request, right? So let me create a par. So you can give a name to the par like website, and I'm going to give this par for the bucket with read, right? Okay, so the expiration date I am giving, like as it's a demo I will put 24, and create a par. So you need to copy this, because as you can see here this will be shown only one time, right? It will not show it again. So let me copy this in my notepad. So I have copied. So till now we have completed VCN creation, we have created object storage bucket, and the next component is our API gateway. For API gateway, it's in our developer service, and here scroll down API management, you have to click on gateways, right? So first we need to create a gateway. So let me create a new gateway, website hosting, and the type should be public. Okay, and here on the VCN there is only one VCN in this compartment, and I need to select the public subnet demo. Okay, and here the certificate is default. So here you need to be more conscious. If you want to access your website using your own domain name with HTTPS, you have to upload your own certificates here. In this demo purpose, I am using star.oci.customer-oci.com. Okay, so which means that in the last part of the demo, when I map the DNS for my domain thinkoci.com, it will get an SSL error. Okay, so let me click on the create gateway. So now you can see the creation is in progress, right? So here you can see the status, you can see the create gateway, it's in progress. Okay, so now the gateway, API gateway is active. So let's go to deployments. So next step is we need to create one deployment. So click on this button and we have to input some basic information. So I will put the name as root and the path is /. Okay, and here it's provide different options for your API request policies like CORS, nature, TLS, rate limiting. So I am not going to do anything over here. As it's a public site, there is no need for authentication. So here we have different options like single authentication, multi authentication. So in this purpose we have to choose no authentication. So moving to next. So next we need to set up the routes. So this part is very important. So based on your web file structure, you have to create. So in the route, I have to choose add multiple backends. You can see the route to different backends based on the criteria at runtime, right? So that is this option I need to choose. And here I will give / like the request. It should be /request star in like this format. And from here the method, it should be get. Okay, so this is the path we are mentioning. Here we need to choose the path. So the path is none other than request. Okay, and the backend, we need to define the backend. So in this way you will provide the backend information. So in the backend I have to give a name. So I will use default for index.html. So the value is no need to do anything. So this will be make it as default because this is the index.html file. I choose HTTP, and in the URL, you remember we have created the PAR, right? Pre-authenticated request. So let me paste it over here. So in the PAR end, you need to append index.html. Okay. So once you did this, you can create this backend. So everything remains the same. So in our backend system, as you know, we have one more file, right? OCI v2 PNG, right? This one. So if you have CSS and all, you need to define the same approach what we doing for PNG. So be careful for that. Okay, so let me minimize this. Okay, so now I am going to add a PNG rule for the backend. So I will put like PNG rule. So if you have CSS, you need to do CSS for this. Okay, so here the match type will be wildcard. Okay, and the expression is star.png. Okay, and in the URL, so this is, as you know, it's HTTP backend, right? So the URL will be the PAR request. Okay, so let me copy the PAR request URL, and here you need to do one more line append like $ inside curly bracket. Okay, so you need to place request.path in square bracket, it is request. Okay, so this is what you need to add. So whenever there is a wildcard expression of rules come like star.png, it will go to this PAR request and it will replace with request.path inside the bracket the request, right? So we need to define this. Okay, so now this one backend looks good. So I need to go to next and review everything. If all good, we can create this. So now your deployment is in progress. So you can see here the status, right? It's creating. Okay, so now the deployment has been completed. So here in OCI API gateways, you will get a host name like this, right? So this is the host name for this deployment for the gateway. So I will copy this. Okay, so I will come here and I will hit the particular URL. So you will get this page. Okay, so all good till now, right? So this is the page which I have created. There is an index file and this is the logo. So by hitting the URL of the API gateway, you should be able to access, and it's in HTTPS, right? So what's next? So I need to replace this domain with my own domain name, right? Because it's not easy for us to remember this very lengthy name, right? For that, I will log into my Big Rock where I registered my domain. So this is the domain thinkoci.com. So here the DNS is Big Rock, so I have to edit the DNS record. So let me add a CNAME, because right now for the demo purpose I have created something like this. So I need to change this value with the name of with the endpoint, with the host name of the API gateway. Okay, so let me go to my DNS. So I will edit this and I will add here save button. Also I will update the CNAME for star. So basically once the DNS propagation time has been finished, I can able to access the domain name www.thinkoci. So let me try my website in the incognito window. So as you can see, the connection is not private, right? I told you earlier, because we have added the DNS for the star dot, only for oci.customer.oci.com. that is the default, right? So when we create the API gateway, I mentioned that for you to create your own certificate, you need to upload over there, right? So I will proceed with this error, SSL error. There comes the website. Okay, so this is practically how you can able to host your static website without a server. When I say without a server, means all the static files will be residing in a bucket, and using an API gateway you are exposing to the end users, right? So this is very efficient and scalable method, because you don't need to worry about the adding load balancer or scaling, etc. Here only in this use case, only thing you need to cater is like the HTTPS. Okay, so once you upload your own certificate, it's work very perfect well. Okay, so I believe this video will be helpful for you. So stay tuned for our next videos. Thanks for watching.